What's good, everybody? It is your boy Batman, and we got some more Naruto vibes. We got another reaction banger video. It's gonna be with your boy King Bullet. He's another incredible Naruto YouTuber. If you guys have never heard of him, so if you haven't, definitely check him out. I'll make sure to put his YouTube and link in the description down below. But his name is King Bullet. He's a pretty good guy. He's great.
Yo, what's going?
What's it called? And so I've done a lot of reactions with his channel beforehand, and for the most part, his videos are pretty fucking good and solid. One of my favorite videos and takings that he's ever done so far was when it comes to the character of Shisui. So I actually do have really good high expectations for this video. And his title is very intriguing and interesting. He's saying Shisui is still alive, which is really interesting. Because even reflecting on my memory alone, I don't know why he would even still think this. I'm just saying, because to me it felt pretty fucking crystal clear that he was dead and gone. And that was kind of it. So, but I could be wrong, and unless I would have really go back, maybe I could be able to figure out why he even made this video in the first place. But the title is really interesting, which is why I want to check it out. And then not only that, just to kind of put this out there, Kakashi is my favorite character. But if you guys didn't know this either, when it comes to like my top 5 favorite characters, Shisui is one of them. He's a really fucking cool character. He's a green Sasano, broken ass Mangekyo Sharingan, fucking the most insane body flicker feat we've ever seen out of all characters. Like, he's pretty fucking strong. He's a really cool character. You know what I mean? I really enjoy him, and I feel like a lot of people downplay him or shit on him or underestimate him as well, and really just do not understand the character either. It's a very misunderstood character as well, but definitely one of my favorite characters, and literally top 5 out of all characters in the show Naruto, within my top 5. You know what I mean? I can't be able to do a placement for him, unfortunately, because I would have to really, reflect and think on that just to be 100% sure. Who knows? I might even make a video like my top 5 favorite characters or top 10 favorite Naruto characters out of all. But overall, like, that's just that. So I'm really hyped for this video. I have high expectations. Not too long, just 10 minutes, so this shouldn't be too bad of a video for you guys to watch either. And let's get into it, and let's do it.
It's your boy. Okay, I ain't doing that. That's kind of cringe. I was trying to do the Naruto explained thing. Anyway, here's King Bullet. Many people assume Shisui died after jumping off a waterfall to prevent Danzo from obtaining his Sharingan. Instead, he gave it to his close friend Itachi before he jumped off a waterfall. Now, I would have agreed with the fact that he was dead if it was definitely confirmed, but actually it's confirmed that he didn't die. Don't worry, I will explain what I mean by this very soon, so just stick around.
Interesting.
We know that even young Genin have survived worse falls than that. Obito was just a kid when he got crushed by a massive boulder and even buried alive. He lost half his body, but the other half and his eyes were fine. Against all the odds, he survived. So falling off a waterfall doesn't seem that life-threatening, especially if you're an Onbu captain. I'd be more concerned about Shisui drowning, if anything. Even in the Itachi light novel, Danzo found it hard to believe somebody as prideful as Shisui Uchiha would just off himself. So what if, like Tupac, Shisui survived and he's been in hiding all of these years, waiting for the perfect moment to make his grand return?
Okay.
Getting into the video. Now, what are the facts? Well, we never technically saw Shisui die. All we saw was an attempt at his own life. The day after his supposed death, 3 Uchiha police force members were looking for Itachi to ask him why he didn't come to the meeting the day before. The Uchiha police claimed that Shisui drowned, but they only found a note claiming that he would kill himself. Well, what the note actually said was, "I'm tired of my duties. There's no future for me or the Uchiha. I'm no longer able to walk this path." So did they ever find a body? Well, if they had found a body, they would have known that his eyes were missing, which I don't think they did. So the question is, how did they deduce that Shisui drowned, but they hadn't found his body? Well, he was bleeding heavily after the fight with Danzo, since, he was missing an eye and all. So they must have just tracked his trail of fresh blood, which would have led straight to the waterfall. So after reading the note and putting one and one together, one would logically assume that Shisui fell to his death. To undoubtedly prove that his body wasn't found, during a 4th Shinobi War, Kabuto said he couldn't find Shisui's body either, so it probably wasn't buried. Now, for somebody like Kabuto to not be able to find something...
Oh, that's literally one of the answers I was looking for so long. Eventually, I would have found it anyways by reading through the Shippuden manga again, but I was trying to remember, like, why did he not bring Shisui back? You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. Like, that would have been crazy. But Kabuto literally stated it. He could not find Shisui's body anywhere. Now, one thing I will say, I still feel like that's a bullshit excuse, because all you need is just any type of DNA. Anything. You know what I mean? That could be blood, that can be hair, that could be anything, bro. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying, but anyways.
Whatever that thing might be, besides maybe like a girlfriend, I guess. It's kind of astonishing. Shisui was a very powerful shinobi even without his eyes. When Uchiha lose their eyes, they still manage to somehow retain most of their ocular abilities. For example, a blind Madrill was capable of using his Rinnegan abilities, so Kabuto had a real interest in finding his body, but still failed to find a sufficient amount of DNA to revive him. So why is it that his body can't be found? Could it be that his body is genuinely missing because it got washed away by the river? In episode 298 of anime, Itachi directly states that Shisui faked his own death. He said that he met him after he lost his
Halo Top.
right eye to Danzo. He removed and then gave his left eye to Itachi, then disappeared. So instead of telling Naruto he was dead or killed himself, he just says he goes missing, which is kind of ambiguous. He could be implying that he killed himself, but he could also be implying that he just disappeared straight up. In the anime, we do see him jump off that cliff, but we only saw it from his perspective, and now he doesn't even believe that Shisui is dead, or at least he doesn't think he killed himself that day. Itachi said that he erased his own existence and made it seem as if his eyes were destroyed, but how is any of this possible after jumping to his supposed death? All of this is completely backed up. Pretty verbatim as well, in the 4th data book it stated that Shisui feigned his own death, so Itachi could unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan. To feign means to pretend or fake. I was pretty shocked by this, but the 4th data book has never actually been officially translated, so I had to check the Japanese. The Japanese term used to describe his death instead of feigned was so. So it means to pretend, hide, dress, or cover. So in this case, the author, Kishimoto, has made it directly clear that Shisui faked his own death, so Itachi could unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan. Maybe Danzo was right about Shisui being too prideful to off himself. So now that we know he faked his death, how did he do it? Shisui easily could have used Koto Matsukami, a technique that allows a user to enter a person's mind and manipulate them by giving them false experiences, making them seem as if they are doing things from their own free will. The victim wouldn't even notice they were being manipulated. Remember, one of Shisui's nicknames was Shisui of a Mirage. A mirage is a natural optical illusion, or an unrealistic hope, or a wish that can't be achieved. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that he could have made people think something happened, in this case his death. It would also narratively make sense for his character as well. Of course, each eye will be owned by Danzo and Itachi respectively after his supposed death, but how they actually obtained them could have been completely false, and it could have easily been manipulated. But why go through all this effort? Well, he wanted Itachi to unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, but he also wanted to entrust Itachi with his other eye so he could fulfill what he calls the path. Maybe Shisui wasn't lying in his note that he left behind, and he genuinely didn't want to follow this hopeless path, so he quit the Uchiha clan by faking his death. Shisui losing both his Sharingan embodies the idea of him quitting the clan, quite literally, since the Sharingan is a Kekkei Genkai ability granted by his clan. Shisui wanting to escape this endless conflict would explain why he wasn't involved in the 4th Ninja War as well. Perhaps he decided to walk his own path, rather than being forced into a hopeless one, that would have led to the death of his clan and the people he loved. So if he had survived, it's important to remember that Shisui was injured and blind when he decided to disappear.
Hey, but what's
Could he survive?
What I think King Bluet's forgetting though is the fact that Shisui was also poisoned, like with venom and everything from a bug and everything that was literally killing him. You know? So like, even if he fell and faked his death or all this other crap that he showed and everything, he would have died because he was literally venomized, poisoned. Like, he was on the verge of death. You know, like... So, I don't know. You know, like, I feel like he's forgetting that. Unless I'm completely forgetting something or missing out on a detail to where he was able to cure himself or whatever and get the venom out of his body. But that literally is the main reason why he even lost his eyes to begin with from Danzo. He got venom and paralyzed, and then Danzo ripped his eye out because he couldn't move. And then from the amount of pain and everything and adrenaline, he was able to move now. Starts, fighting, running away, you name it. Deals with all of them. Everything goes down, you name it. The Susanoo. Then eventually gets away, finds Itachi. And then this shit happens. So, I don't know, bro. I'm pretty sure he's fucking dead. You know what I mean? Like...
without his eyes? Well, I guess it is possible. He could use basic medical ninjutsu to heal and stop the bleeding. However, to make matters worse, during the fight with Danzo, an Omu member called Sugaru had poisoned...
Okay, so he is going to mention it. Alright, good. So, you're going to have to explain how this didn't kill him.
Shisui. The poison comes from a particular type of species called the Koshu, and the poison paralyzes the victim and then kills them shortly afterward. So how could Shisui actually deal with that? Well, I don't actually know. I guess it is possible that he endured it, since the poison has this special property of disappearing after the victim's death, making it untraceable and undetectable during an autopsy. So it sounds like it can wear off. Shisui had been affected by it for a few hours, so it's definitely possible. Maybe he has really good pain tolerance or poison tolerance. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised he is an Onbu member. He's probably done all sorts of training to endure this type of stuff. I have no idea. So ultimately, we know that Shisui did fake his death 100%, but we're not sure what happened to him after that. In my opinion, he probably died shortly after faking it. Like, I can't imagine Shisui living a normal life with a family. It just sounds weird to me. Like, even after faking his death, would he even have the will to carry on and go on completely blind? As well as having to go through the hassle of healing his injuries and getting rid of his poison? We know he obviously wants to live because he faked his death instead of just straight up dying, but it just sounds really difficult in his scenario since he had all the odds stacked against him. Anyway, let's humor the idea that he somehow survived. Where could he be right now? There was a theory going around in 2015 when Naruto Gaiden dropped. From what I remember, people claimed that Shisui was Shin because he kind of resembles him, even having similar names, Shin and Shisui. Shin also looks like he survived some sort of freak accident, and he wants to kill Sasuke for tarnishing Itachi's philosophy. Sounds kind of familiar, right? So if Shin was Shisui, it would explain his obsession with Itachi since he considers Itachi his best friend. Shin even wears an Akatsuki robe in honor of Itachi, and he even has his Sharingan that's never been seen before, implanted by Orochimaru. But all of this seems a bit far-fetched, since it's never actually confirmed that he was Shisui, and Shin was stated by Orochimaru to not technically be a part of the Uchiha clan, rather like this fan, so he probably isn't Shisui. It could actually be the case that Shin is his cloned version of Shisui, or his DNA was used to make him, to make this experiment, which would explain his obsession with Itachi and Uchiha as well. If his memories are transferred, I don't know how it works.
It's a good theory. It's a stretch, but it's an interesting theory. I don't even think that would be the case either. Because once again, nobody was able to find his body. So, you know, and then Boruto went on and on and on. And even though I haven't seen Boruto, I don't think there was ever any type of clarification or statement or anything to indicate that that had anything to do with Shisui. You know, if I did, I'm pretty sure that would have blew up and everyone would have been all over it talking about it. So, and it would have got spoiled to me like other things. So.
According to Ao, the color of a chakra that was being emitted from the eye that Danzo stole from Shisui and his shoulder were the same. This means that Danzo's arm, which is made from Hashirama cells, shares the same chakra as Shisui's, which I'm highly skeptical about since sharing the same chakra color doesn't inherently mean they're the same. It could just be a coincidence they're the same color. Anyway, disregarding that criticism, Shin and Danzo are both experiments of Orochimaru, so perhaps Shisui's DNA was used to make sure that his arm, made from Hashirama cells, didn't reject the Sharingan. This might support the idea of Shin being
He's
Shisui's
such a
clone.
weird-looking character.
This somehow is the case. How did Orochimaru manage to clone him if his body couldn't be found? Well, it's directly stated by Orochimaru that Danzo's arm was Shin's arm, and Orochimaru surgically attached Shin's arm onto Danzo. So clearly there had been talks between Danzo and Orochimaru beforehand. Since Danzo had Shisui's eye, perhaps Danzo gave him some of Shisui's DNA in order to grow Shin in the first place, and combined with Hashirama cells in order to make Shin. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Also, if Orochimaru did have his DNA, why not tell Kabuto? Well, probably because it wasn't important, and he probably didn't trust him either. Anyway, there's one major issue that's brought up. If Shin is Shisui's clone, why does he have a different Mangekyo Sharingan ability to him? I just don't think the theory really holds up. I mean, it might. It's just a little bit odd. Perhaps he could only grow Shin's body, combined with Hashirama cells, and then gave him random Sharingan that he could turn into the Mangekyo Sharingan. I can't say. I don't know if I believe it or not. So like I said earlier, Shisui did fake his own death, confirmed, but I think he might have died shortly after faking it anyway. I really doubt he's walking around as some random blind farmer. I mean, he could, but meh. Is he Shin? Probably not. He might be. I think if he was, it definitely would have been said or confirmed by now, but it hasn't. Which leads me to believe that the theory about him being Shin isn't true. Even though there are some weird similarities between Shin and Shisui.
True.
And that should wrap the video.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, even I thought fucking Shin was Shisui at a certain point. Deadass. I'm not even joking with what I was saying, kinda like, I was like, wait a minute. Is this Obito all over again type vibe, you know? Like.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future.
Alright, it was a good video. Definitely clickbaitable, because not even he said that he was alive. He literally said, nah, it's more likely he's not alive and he's dead. So, like, the title says otherwise, but it was a good video. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. Definitely something a little different. Some more information and, you know, some pretty good theories and whether or not if he could be with us to maybe argue that he could still be alive. But once again, it would just be so weird for this man to just be living a normal life with no eyes or whatever, or I don't know, and just he's just around, you know, like it'd just be so weird, dude. So, and then not only that, I feel like it'd be out of character because like when things are popping off in the war arc, you know what I mean, or even like the whole pain thing, no matter what, you always gonna have that will of fire, bro. You know what I mean? And he would have probably showed back up to help or whatever. You know, he never did. So you know, Kabuto couldn't find his body. Nobody knew anything. You know, like so. I don't know, bro. I think that's weird. But it was a good video. It was interesting. Very very interesting. I didn't have really a lot of pause moments or really a lot of moments to really fully like do a reaction as I typically do with most reaction videos. It was kind of just a very straightforward video, nothing really to debunk or contest or you know or talk about really. So yeah, that's it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think Shisui is still alive? Do you think Shisui could even potentially maybe come back in Boruto to where maybe he has been alive this whole time? Excuse me, and he comes back and maybe he's like a villain for some reason. I don't know. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe if you guys are a Naruto fan. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.